Well, someone's got to break the ice, and it might as well be me. I mean, I'm used to being a podcast host. It's part of my work, and it's always difficult when a group of new friends meet together for the first time to, talk about movies. So I'm perfectly prepared to start the ball rolling. I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here or what I'm doing here or what Cinema Forecast is about, but I am determined to enjoy myself. And I'm very intrigued, and oh my, this soup's delicious, isn't it? And by golly, listeners, isn't it delicious? Welcome to another episode of Cinema Forecast. It is I, your host, Alfredo, with your other host.
It's me, Connor.
It's fucking Connor. And we're here to talk about a movie again, because this is Cinema Forecast, the movie podcast where every month we are randomly assigned a category. Attached to this category are 4 movies we believe fit the category. And each week we go in depth talking about one movie in the context of, you guessed it, that fucking category. I'm getting explicit with the intro today. Yeah, fuck it, dude. It says explicit everywhere, you know? Should be fucking up a fucking fuck store more often. Anyway, thank you all so very much for tuning in. This is week 3 of
People. Oh, no, not people who are good at stuff.
People who could be anything.
People who could be anything. It could be anyone.
It could be anyone. Welcome to ICBA month.
I love all the acronyms.
June is ICBA month. Yeah, there was an AM for aquatic movie, DM for desert movie, but the bits come up on their own, you know?
Organic. We're organic here.
Organic free range bits. Fuck all those like factory farmed bits you're seeing on those other podcasts. Golly. Today we fucking watched Clue.
We did.
This was on Comedy Central all the time growing up, and like my sister and I was asking her, I was like, we watched this, did we watch it once or several times as kids? And she was like, I think we watched it like a shit ton, but like parts of it all the time, and like, but we've watched it through a couple times. So this was definitely a favorite in the household between my sister and I. And yeah, I mean, rewatching it, I was like, wow, dude, takes me back, you know, to being younger. And fuck, what a silly fucking movie.
What a silly movie indeed.
This is your first time?
Yeah, I haven't seen it all the way through. I definitely like recognized it, and I
Wait, you didn't watch it all the way through?
Certain pieces of it, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like I saw this on TV, especially the end when they're sprinting around the house. I'm like, oh, I've definitely seen this scene. Yeah, fun movie, funny movie.
Yeah, for sure. I actually, with my little film analysis hat on, I did have some big thoughts about the end of it and like the way the whole story kind of presents itself.
Okay, am I misremembering this? I feel like I heard that when the movie released, they just had different endings
at different theaters. That's what people always say. Yeah,
so cool. Is that the case?
That was true? What my coworker was saying yesterday. So I mean, I can believe it for sure. I do just want to do this because we love talking credits. Right off the bat, I'm literally just going to go through the credits because this is so fucking star-studded.
Yeah, it is stacked.
So it's directed by Jonathan Lynn. It's written by John Landis and Jonathan Lynn. They came up with the story. Jonathan Lynn wrote the screenplay. The guy who wrote the original board game is called Anthony E. Pratt. Okay, now to the fucking cast, which is insane. We've got Eileen Brennan as Mrs. Peacock, Tim Curry is Wadsworth, Madeline Kahn is Mrs. White, Christopher Lloyd, 1.21 gigawatts himself, as Professor Plum, Michael McKean as Mr. Green.
Woo!
I love how that rhymes.
Yeah.
Michael McKean as Mr. Green, Martin Mull is Colonel Mustard, who I think was on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I immediately was like, oh my God. Leslie Ann Warren as Miss Scarlet. We've got Colleen Camp as Yvette, Lee Ving as Mr. Body, who I believe is a member of the band Venom. My friend Christian was telling me yesterday. We got Bill Henderson as the cop, Jane Widlin as the singing telegram girl, Jeffrey Kramer as the motorist, Kelly Nakahara as Mrs. Ho the cook, and then Will Nye as cop number 1, Rick Goldman, cop number 2, and Don Camp as cop number 3.
Boom.
And then uncredited chief Howard Hesseman.
Why is he uncredited? That's strange.
They do that sometimes. Who knows? Maybe like union reasons. Like they were gonna have to pay him like a shit ton. for that.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've got the composer here, John Morris.
Yeah.
Cinematographer
Great
is
soundtrack.
Victor J. Kemper.
Hell yeah. Yeah, stacked cast. I as soon as Mr. Green started talking, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Saul Goodman's brother in Better Call Saul." Love him in that so much.
Hell yeah, and a bunch of other shit too. I can't his face is so recognizable.
I
to
knew
me.
he was such a huge actor just because the way people like talked about him with such reverence, but I didn't know what else he was in.
I mean, he's in Spinal Tap.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he's in a few, in also a Mighty Wind in those Christopher Guest sort of movies. So yeah, man, fuck yeah, he's funny.
He's great.
I love his whole like. I told you I didn't do it like bit throughout. It's pretty good.
That and I'm accident prone, right?
Yeah. It's very fucking funny.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say right off the top, a lot of slapstick humor is kind of hit or miss for me, and that was kind of the case for this movie, where a lot of it was hitting, a lot of it was missing, but overall, like, super funny. Like, I did get a lot of good guttural laughs, which is all you can ask from a comedy.
For sure. I think for me, there were definitely ones where I'm like, oh, this is very corny, but I think it does a good job of being like, this is the vibe that we're in. Like, we're going to be throwing a bunch of stupid jokes at you the whole time.
Yeah.
And I find that so lovable. That the ones that don't hit, I like laugh at the attempt still, like in a way where I'm like, feel like, again, I have a lot of like nostalgia for this film. So it's just like, yeah, they're really trying, really going for the fences. But yeah, no, I definitely get what you mean a lot, like with some of them falling much flatter than others.
Yeah.
I love the way it starts with the music. The music is this mix of seriousness, like there is this sort of weight to it. It's suspenseful. And then suddenly there's the like jaunty little theme part.
Yeah, I love how earnest the movie is. It's very, like you were saying, it's very charming. The whole, like, it knows what it is and it's executing on that. Like, and it's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, love the music. The intro into the clouds and the credits, and then the classic creepy mansion on the hill. Like, it just perfectly encaptures that vibe.
Yeah. For sure. And right off the bat we get some of this slapstick with this is one of the bits that's definitely not like feels a little flat to me as it goes on, but still I'm laughing at it a little bit. There's like a part of me that's like, and it's him like stepping in the dog shit.
Yeah.
And then like people like kind of smelling it around him for like the whole first part of the movie.
Right.
Apparently there was going to be like this there was this fourth ending that they were going to do, where like Wadsworth did it on his own and he like escapes and then he like smells dog shit again, and then it's like the Doberman attacks him at the end or something like that.
That's great. Yeah, I was kind of waiting for the dogs to come back around a little more. So that's interesting because it sounds like they were setting that up.
Yeah, they're just like the deterrent to leave, right? Like through the window at the
very
one point
Resident Evil 1, trapped in by dogs, not zombie dogs, but close enough. Gotta say, Tim Curry looking dapper as heck.
Tim Curry is the best part of this movie.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, he's so fun. What a gem.
Like the whole movie is made by the ending segment where he recounts the entire plot of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And all of the physical comedy during that part, that is like the height of this. That's what really fucking sells the whole thing.
Absolutely. Best part of the movie, for sure.
And it's also like, what I like about the alternate endings as well, I'll just say up top here, is that like, just so that we can kind of stew on this a little bit, I feel like this is a great parody of a whodunit.
Yeah.
This is like an It Could Be Anyone, where it's like, it really could be anyone. And I think one of the things it's doing is it's saying, like, these stories make you feel like they knew what was going on the whole time. And then it's like, it was always this person. But the secret is like, it can always kind of be anyone.
Right. What's a red herring and what's not, right? That can be flipped on its head.
If you justify it, like, there's always... it's all the hindsight, right? Like
Right.
that now that you know, it changes the context of everything, and it plays with that so well.
Yeah,
with
I did
that ending.
feel pretty confused by the end. Like it's funny with movies like this because it's not like the plot details mattered too much, but I was like, wait, what was everyone like? I kind of wish that they didn't call the final one like what actually happened and just left it as like here's another possibility because I found myself being like, but wait, then why did Tim Curry, Mr. Wadsworth, why did he like yeah, like he was saying, give away exactly how everything went down. Like, there's so many little things like that, but since it's so tongue in cheek, it's like doesn't even matter if it's like coherent. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know. I think that's part of what sells it is that it is like I'm like, do I actually need for it to be coherent? No, because I love the fact that it's like this sort of like bold-faced send up of like the genre.
Yeah. Oh yeah, New England, 1954.
Yes, New England, 1954.
Love
indeed.
the setting. Just pretty quickly, we get into all the characters, and this is definitely. Oh, we didn't even go into the themes. Real quick.
Yeah, hit it.
The 5 themes I wrote down for could be anyone is number 1, paranoia, isolation, trust, the anomaly that is man, and mental chess match. And I'd say all of that's in here to an extent. One thing that really stood out to me on this one and like makes me think maybe it should be another theme. And I don't know how you would put this thematically, but just the importance of having a really distinct large cast in all of these movies. Like it's very distinct characters that are memorable so that you can track who's who and if they're different about or if something's different about them or blah blah blah.
I think it is for the whodunit. I don't think it is for the body snatching, shape shifting so much.
I think it is because you have to be able to
I think
tell what's different about them. Oh, is there something?
But I think like 4 people isn't like a
That's
huge
true.
ensemble.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think you can do it with like a smaller group of people in like the shapeshifter thing. I like the big rich like wild cast feels very
Whodunit.
feels very whodunit. I do think it does happen to an extent as well in these body snatching shapeshifting movies because we want to display a loss of individuality with like the body snatching or the shape shifting, a loss of an essence of who they are. So we do want them to shine in a particular way, but I think with a whodunit, you want like twice as big of a cast as like one of the horror body snatching movies.
Absolutely, yeah, because you need to have a lot of suspects.
Yeah, for sure. And again, we have this whole like high society thing again. The whole vibe of the mansion and the fact that they like usually this shit doesn't get me excited, like that they turned Clue into a movie, right?
Right.
But like I just felt like because there's so little, like that is right, it is one of those properties that has so little narrative attached to it that it's like there's something about it that's really compelling to me where I love that like, oh, actually these are code names as well. Like we see that as Colonel Mustard arrives, right? Like
these are all aliases, pseudonyms. Yeah.
Fucking great. Like I love that shit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And later when it's just like, he's like, I have something special for all of you, and it's each of the weapons from Clue, like that stuff like that. Like, even though I haven't, like I said in the end of last episode, I don't think I've ever played a full game of Clue. But like, it's so iconic that I know all that stuff.
Oh my god, we should do that for an episode. We
just
should
like stream us playing Clue.
We should play Clue.
Can you play a 2-player? How many people do you need for Clue?
I think you could. I think maybe I don't know. We'll check. We'll invite a guest for that. But we'll maybe get a video component for it to make it a little bit more compelling.
Heck yeah.
Although it would be really funny to narrate, like, okay, now I'm moving my piece.
Yeah, I don't know what the turns are. Like, I know at the end of the game you say, Mrs. White did it in the kitchen with the knife or whatever, but I don't know.
So what happens is there's decks of cards.
Yeah.
There's a card for weapons, room, and suspects. Those cards, 3 of the cards end up going into a little envelope in the center of the table.
Okay.
And then you were given a sheet with each of the murder weapons, each of the rooms, and each of the suspects.
Okay.
And as you get cards, there's only one of every card. So you know what cards you have, you can eliminate.
Okay.
So it is a game of process of elimination. And I think you move through the rooms gaining further information through cards and through interactions with players.
Is there like a time limit? Like, does the game end at some point?
Yeah. So what someone says, I would like I know.
Oh,
who
so is
did
it? It's the first person to say they're going to make a guess that ends the game.
I believe it does. I think there might be a way where like you can say I know who did it, and then you say the whole thing, and because you're supposed to then open the thing and check. But I think there's a way where like somebody can be like, no, that's not true because of this. I don't remember that part so much, but I do. I remember the flow of play as you move through the different rooms, kind of like looking for further clues to like eliminate other options.
Cool. Sounds cool.
It's fun. It's like I feel like a simple enough premise that it's not like I either want my board games to be like so fucking complicated that I need to play it like several times to get it, or I want it to like be like that level of simplicity.
Yeah, there's a fine balance.
Have you ever played Terra Mystica?
No,
the
I've heard of
terraforming game.
I've
never played it on a like an actual physical board. I've only played it on the computer. And the fucking all the pieces and everything, I'm like, would I ever want to actually physically have to like take care of all that shit? But
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, at a certain point, it's just like too many pieces, too many rules. Yeah, and I guess we should just say that Alfredo and I are big board game fans. We don't play a lot per se, but we like playing them when we can.
I mean, I think it's because we like we have a weekly gaming group where we play D&D together. And we've been doing that for I think 7 years now.
Something like that, yeah.
6 or 7 years. But we also have, I mean, Jacob, who was on the show, he is a big Root guy. We bought a bunch of Root expansions for his birthday.
Yeah.
Big Root. We also, there was this night at Connor's house where we played Pandemic. It was my first time playing Pandemic. And we played the easiest difficulty. And by the end of the night, 3 a.m, we had played like 2 or 3 more times and had gotten like we're playing with the hardest difficulty. And it was anytime we do this shit too, there's a level of us being like God damn it, I'm a doctor, I gotta get this fucking antidote to
the RP.
Yeah, yes. You just like start like living in it. It's fucking great. We also do that when we play Zomboid as well.
Oh yeah,
that's so fun.
Project Zomboid. We should play that soon.
We should for sure. See you on the Zomboid. See you on the Boyd.
The Boydcast.
The Boydcast. Yeah. But like we were saying, good shit. Very rich characters. Yeah. They all sort of start to arrive.
Yep.
I think we get Colonel Mustard, and then Mrs. White.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a moment of recognition between Mrs. White and Yvette that's sort of called out by Wadsworth.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of little clues throughout the movie, little hints all over the place. A lot of it's red herrings. A lot of it is alternate red herrings that actually aren't red herrings. But yeah, good stuff. We get the car broken down. I believe that's Miss Scarlet, right?
Yeah.
Pretty funny bit with her putting her heel up.
To get the car to pull over.
Yeah, like that.
And it is Professor Plum.
Yes. Oh man, I love Christopher Lloyd too. He's so good.
He's great in this. And I love the way that they show each other the letters, and then we have like, okay, they're both sort of like called here for a similar reason.
I did think it was a weird reaction where they're like, where he's like, I'm going to the same party, and they're like, and it's like, why is that so weird? You're both going down the same road, like.
I mean, there's not many other houses out there, right? Like, I would have been, I would almost be like, hey, so are you going up to the big scary house too? Yeah, for sure. Where the fuck else am I gonna go?
Yeah, it felt like a dun 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 moment, but like wasn't at all. I don't know.
The more dun 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 would be like, oh, actually no, I'm just out here looking for a victim to murder.
Dun dun.
I'm going to wear your skin. He should have said that. That would have been sick. When it turns into fucking, and then Goodbye Horses comes on.
Yeah, we have movies that start as a drama and then turn into horror movies halfway through. We don't have enough movies that start as like a parody, silly comedy and then turn into a horror movie halfway through.
That's true. There's a lot of like people staring at Yvette's breasts throughout this movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, that outfit, come on.
And then I mean, there's a really there's some good sort of comedy with. There's a lot of good like face work in this. Like Eileen Brennan as Mrs. Peacock, like staring down, like sort of making this like oh my sort of face. I also love how at the beginning she's so like sort of like you're like, oh, like a silly like older woman, and then like just like I love how the characters sort of like you get. I think she sort of like shifts Mrs. White too, where you're like, oh, whatever, and then you're like, oh no, these people are like kind of like they can hold their own, like
Yeah, they're all pretty devious. Especially with all the alternate endings where like they're all guilty, I guess. Very suspect. Yeah, good setup.
There's the part too where Wadsworth tells the dog to sit and Mr. Green sits down. It's fucking
I wrote
funny.
that down. Yeah, it's good stuff. Oh yeah, and then they're pulling up on the mansion.
Why is the car stopped?
It's frightened.
I like that. It's funny.
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
It's dumb, but it's funny. And there's this like little sting like before, and then like there's a sting after, like, which is really funny because they're doing like musical comedy where it's like he's like, why is the car stopped? Dong. It's frightened. Dong. And you're like, that's good. That's funny. And I think actually that's kind of maybe with the dun 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 is like, like you're like, oh, they're just being like kind of over the top with the like bringing the like tension and shit.
Yeah. No, it knows exactly what it's parodying and it's nailing it.
And then when they walk up and he tries to put his hand on her ass.
Oh yeah.
I mean, immediately setting up this guy's a little fucking horn dog.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Fucking perv.
There's a lot of that in this, for sure.
For sure.
A lot of people wanting to spend time with the.
There's a lot of sex.
Yeah.
Not like people having sex, but a lot of talk about sex.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, Scarlett is a madame of she basically runs like a bordello of some sort in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
And then Yvette is one of her. I love it. So fucking convoluted how all these people who know each other are around each other, not mentioning that they know each other.
Yeah, and it's hard to talk. Well, like what I was gonna say is it's hard to talk about the threads here because the threads are different between the different endings. So it's like, what are the real connections throughout the movie? I don't know. Do we go off what they say the true ending is, or like?
I like the one where they all committed murder. They all
that's
murdered.
The real one, yeah, right. That's the final one.
I don't know if it's the real one.
Well, I think they have the title card that says this is what really happened.
Yeah, but Connor, you can't keep just believing what the screen tells you. You can have the choice to accept that is not reality.
Okay.
But I like that one the most because I kind of love that it's like, oh, well, actually, they all have motives, and they're all fucking sketchy people.
Yeah, it checks out. It checks out.
Except for the part, I don't like the thing where, like, I mean, and this is, of course, like, part of the times for sure, but, like, Mr. Green is a homosexual, but he's actually not a homosexual. He's actually, at the end, he says, I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife, which is funny.
I thought that was hilarious.
It was very funny, but
the freeze frame on that.
It was like so strange, But
yeah, and then just they're getting to know each other. There's a line: the female of the species is more deadly than the male. I wrote that down, just like, oh, is that foreshadowing that it's one of the women who is the killer? I mean, it's like kinda, yeah, everyone's the killer. So
yeah, for sure.
Yep, we got they're sipping on their soup. I guess it's monkey brain.
The gong banging for dinner was also kind of like, and people are just like so jumpy.
Yeah,
in this
the
movie.
lightning, especially Mr. Green and everything. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's monkey brain soup. Yes, I do like the little exchange with they ask him what he does as the butler, and he says, "I buttle." This shit gets me. I'm like, a little wordplay like that. Yeah, you got
There's
me.
a lot of fun wordplay. Yeah, for sure.
A lot of good word. Okay, I gotta say, the whole exchange between Colonel Mustard and Wadsworth with the like, can you tell me if there's anyone else in the house?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and by yes I mean no. But yes you mean no. God, I fucking love that so fucking much. I'm just like sitting there fucking laughing so hard. I have to. Okay, this is completely unrelated, but it's just laughing. So Friday was my mom's birthday, and we went mini golfing, and there was this one hole we were on where it was like a full 18-hole fucking mini golf, and there's this one where there's two ways. You can go down like this way where like you go down like a little incline, or like it just takes longer. Like there's this big like curve, or you can go up this ramp between these two logs to get close to the hole.
Yeah.
And so my dad is standing like across from me in front of like the two logs with like the ramp, like near the hole. And I'm like, Dad, I'm gonna like try to go the hard way. You should probably move. And he goes, whatever, dude. So I fucking hit the ball and immediately just like beeline to his fucking shin. Bonk! And like I felt bad, but I had warned him.
You had.
And my sister and I laughed for fucking 5 minutes straight. It was so fucking funny. I love you, Dad. I'm sorry.
Hell yeah. We're going to have to watch another movie about a father loving his son to make up for that, I think.
We will. Yeah, we'll do it. Passion of the Christ?
That's a really good joke.
Thank you.
So yeah, we pretty quickly figure out that they are all associated with the government in some way. I believe all of them except was it Miss Scarlet, who's actually lives in Washington D.C. or I forget who did.
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out their connection.
Yeah,
and it seems like at first they're like, well, we all live in Washington D.C. It's like and then Professor Plum says he doesn't, but he works for the World Health Organization, which is a government entity.
Right.
And then it's also they find out that the seventh guest is going to be Mr. Body.
Right.
Which I think is like who dies in the like board game.
Yeah, I mean it makes perfect sense.
It's
funny.
funny.
I mean, as soon as he comes in, his name is Body. I'm like, okay, well he's the one who dies clearly. And yeah, when he comes in, the little in the background, I'll take the key over my dead body. It's like, you know,
and you
they
can
know
just,
what they're doing.
Yeah, you can just hear it like as well.
Yeah, everyone recognizes Mr. Body.
No, nobody knows who he is.
Oh, why did I write they recognize him? I don't know.
No, it's just like what happens is
it was they recognize him ? I think it's just the way they react to him coming in, where it's like they all.
Yeah, I think it's sinister, but like later on, Wadsworth is like, you guys don't know, this is the guy who's been blackmailing you.
Right. Coffee and brandy after dinner.
Of course.
Yeah, so good
you got
time.
to. And so they finish their dinner. Also during the dinner, we have Mr. Body lifting up Yvette's skirt, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we know each other." And it's like, oh god, the guy is immediately set up as like unlikable,
very very slimy. Yeah, and
oh wait, no, so he's actually the frontman of Los Angeles-based hardcore punk band Fear.
What? That's
yeah, isn't that fucking wild?
That is wild. So random. Yeah, and Mr. Wadsworth says that their unknown host will reveal his intentions, and this is all just like, again, it's so hard to talk about like what this actually means here because, you know, based on which ending you pick, who actually is the host, what is Wadsworth's actual intentions here, why are they all here exactly? Like it's to get revenge on Mr. Body, but I don't know, it's confusing.
Yeah, well, wait. So Wadsworth is always the one who
invited everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that is before all the alternate endings.
Right. But depending on the alternate ending, why did he bring everyone?
Right.
there?
It's either he's Mr. Body, which is one of the endings.
Right.
Or he is the like
he just wants revenge on Mr. Body.
Yeah, and he was Mr. Body's butler, and he had to work for him for free.
But in the one where he is Mr. Body, why did he orchestrate all this?
Because he's a mastermind who is able to get the people he is blackmailing to kill the people who have information against him, his spies.
Oh.
That's what he says. Like, you all killed my spies for me. Like, thank you.
It's so complicated.
It's good. It's good. It's smart. It's really smart.
We find out they're all locked in pretty quickly, which is creepy and fun.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying for sure. But yeah, I think they also like when he goes into the lobby to not the lobby, the
lounge,
the study to reveal their intentions. He like opens the envelope and he like tells them that they're all being blackmailed by Mr. Body. And I love and that's when Body tries to escape, and that's like no, everything's fucking locked, man. You're not getting out.
Yeah, the dog's at the greenhouse.
I love Peacock just being like, I'm not being blackmailed. What are you talking about?
I didn't do it.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
It wasn't me.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And everyone else is just like, yeah.
Do you have besides Wadsworth.
My favorite?
Yeah, a favorite.
It's hard to say if they're my favorite because of the character or the actor. But yeah, I'd probably either Mr. Plum Mr. Plum or Mr. Green, I think. What about you?
I like the women are very, very funny to me. I like Yvette's French accent a lot. I think that's like really funny, and I love when she's like, "Oh, but it's dark in the attic. Who will go with me?" And all the men are like, "I'll go with you." And Mr. Green's like, "No, thank you." I think I like Mrs. Peacock the most. She's just like so. She's like this very like, "Oh, I'm like a politician's wife. I'm like so like proper and well kept, and I know how to deal in all these social situations." And then her fucking feather hair thing is like falling off her head, and she's fucking like yelling at people and like freaking out. I just love her like the way she devolves. Because I also really like Madeline Kahn as Mrs. White. Because there's something just very unsettling about her. She's doing this whole Black Widow persona that I like. But her whole sort of thing is that she isn't very like emotive.
Yeah.
Whereas Mrs. Peacock, her facial expressions and shit too. Yeah, I don't know. She's wild.
Yeah, they're all fun. They're all big characters. It's fun to watch them all just being wacky. Let's see. So everything is being recorded. We find that
for
out.
Sure.
The police will arrive in 45 minutes, which is kind of a fun countdown throughout the whole movie.
We love countdowns. And I think before the countdowns, though, we do have, this is what is happening with everyone.
Yeah.
Plum can't practice medicine because he fucked a patient. Peacock accepted bribes for her husband's vote from lobbyists, supposedly. Scarlett says that she's a madame. Mustard is one of her customers. We have the double negative joke with like, he's not, tell them I'm not. And she goes, he's not. And then Professor Plum goes, is he? And she goes, he is. Jaunty, like well-timed,
really good
like
wordplay,
back and forth. Because it's not just the wordplay with those things. You have to have the like timing on point. Otherwise it like falls flat.
Totally. Well, I feel like with comedy, timing really is everything.
It really is. It is. Yeah. Delivery and all that. Very important. Then we get White's husband is dead, which is why she made the joke earlier about how he spends a lot of time on his back. I like that. I thought it was, I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but I was like, oh, he's dead, and I know he's dead. But yeah, he was a nuclear physicist, apparently. Yeah, and there's the whole bit about
the communists. That was a red herring. That bit really got me.
Yeah. What I was gonna say though is her first husband.
Yeah.
He disappeared. Well, that was his job. He was an illusionist. It's so fucking dumb. It's so fucking dumb. But he never reappeared. And we got Green works for the State Department and he's gay, but he can't. And because he comes out and he tells his secret. This is part of sort of like Green's thing is that he is the easiest one to be like, oh, this guy definitely didn't do it, because he's very like, well, he keeps saying I didn't do it. Is like one of his bits. But also, yeah, he comes out and he says, I'll tell you my secret. I work for the State Department, but I'm gay, and if that came out, it would ruin my career.
Right.
So I guess that as a choice to make him the blackmail victim with the most compelling and sort of like purest one, right? Because there's no ending where he does it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think really in a way it is like this sort of like, everybody else is seedy in a way and sketchy, but he's not.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing I have is Mr. Body has the boxes for everyone, which was just like immediately really great for me just to see them all pulling out the classic weapons.
It was fun.
And it's so convoluted what his plan is.
Yeah.
When I turn off the lights.
Yeah, one of you is going to kill Wadsworth. I want to say, they don't say why, what. Oh, well, I guess they said, they imply Mustard was having sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He also says the thing about how if, later on, he's like, because he says he made all his money from inheritance when his parents died.
Yeah.
But then he says, if my mom sees the pictures, it'll kill her.
Right. And she's like, well, you were lying about that, right? And then, he eventually really reveals that he was
a
a
war
war
profiteer.
Yeah. Bad guy.
She's a lot of our airmen died because they didn't have the radios or something like that. I was like, what? They said that they just didn't even check the planes. They just sent them out without the fucking radios. I love I love the lights going out because you pointed it out in Murder on the Orient Express. Also, I have to call out on the Murder on the Orient Express kept saying Murder on the Nile, but it's Death on the Nile.
Oh.
Sorry, Agatha.
We'll have to re-record that one.
Yeah. It's already
we'll take it down.
Yeah. You're right. We'll take it down. We'll give ourselves a copyright strike. But yeah, so like you pointed out, the lights going out, very classic sort of like moment to like be like, oh shit, what's going to happen?
Yeah, and great with the sound cues too, because you get I don't know what order it was, but we
it's
get the scream.
Thump,
okay.
Then the gunshot. I think then the scream, then the sound of glass shattering.
Yeah. Good stuff. And then the lights come back on. Of course, Mr. Body is now a body, on the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
And then Mrs. Peacock drinks the brandy to calm herself down. And
they're like, is it poisoned?
And she has the whole like bit of just like the really dramatic scream and getting slapped in the face. You know,
I had to
classic
stop her
stuff.
screaming, and I love the way they reenact that later too. It's so good. Tim Curry's so good in that. There's also like they point out there's no bullet wound, right?
Yeah.
The gun. Plum said that he had the gun, but somebody went for it and went off when somebody tried to grab it.
Right.
Then you see that the vase is shattered and that there's like the bullet hole on the wall.
Yeah.
And they're like, so how did he die? Well, I guess they just assume. I guess he got hit in the head, right? I think there's like maybe a little blood at that point. I'm not sure.
Well, so what actually happened? He got grazed in the ear.
And then he plays dead.
Yeah, which.
And then Professor Plum
says he's dead. So, but that's what's so convoluted is like, how did he not know he was dead unless he actually is one of the guilty ones? So
and then they say in one of the endings he knows he's not dead,
right?
But he doesn't tell anyone, so he can go back and kill him while everyone's checking on the cook.
Yeah, but like if that ending is not canon, then it doesn't make any sense. Why? Yeah, I don't know. Again, probably just shouldn't read into the coherence of the plot at all because it's supposed to be fun time.
It's fun though to like try to be like, damn, let me like try and like wrap my little brain around this thing, you know?
Yeah, but it doesn't really make sense, I don't think.
No, and I think that's kind of what's fun about it is like almost this like it's like a game, right? Where there's no real like there's no real solution to it. You're just kind of stretching one way or the other, and then you're like, oh, actually, the best part. Well, because dude, there are whodunits that you watch that are going like for it, right? They're going for the genre. They're doing it straight. And then they give you the solution, and it's like, what the fuck? That's so fucking dumb. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But they played it straight, right?
Yeah.
This one, like, what I love is like they're just like, doesn't make sense. Who fucking cares? It's a comedy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah.
Again, but that's why I'm on that fence of like, well, do we even try to make sense of it, or do we just talk about it as it is and just?
I mean, we gotta try. We're always gonna try a little bit. You know?
Because I don't want to just be the whole movie like, well, that doesn't make any sense. All right, next scene.
That's what the people want to hear. They want to hear us go, wow, how did that happen? Wow, that didn't make any sense.
We get the scream in the other room.
Yeah, Yvette freaking out.
Yeah, I immediately suspected her here. Cause like, why are you in here alone? And then her answer is just like, I was scared.
No, she's supposed to be watching the recording.
Yeah, but the reason she starts screaming is she says is just because she like was trapped in there and she got scared.
No, she's scared because she realizes she's trapped in the house with a murderer.
I know, but why did she scream right there? I don't know. It's just
because they say it right before that, and then she screams. It's fucking dumb, but it's fucking funny.
Oh, I guess. So I have the note here that Wadsworth wrote the letters now, so I guess that's not revealed until this moment.
Yeah, it at this point Wadsworth is like tells because he's kind of like freaking out because he's like, I didn't like want anyone to die. I just like, you know, the cops are gonna come. I was gonna like, we were all gonna like be able to like get him arrested and not have to pay like blackmail anymore. And then he sort of reveals Yeah, and this is there's also a really funny part where he goes, "Everybody take a seat," and like Mr. Green gets beaten to his seat twice, and then he just ends up sitting
Sit
on the table.
and then it collapses.
Yeah,
Yeah, good bit.
but he says Mr. Body hated all of them because he found them to be thoroughly un-American. So that's why he was blackmailing all of them. And this is the whole background of like he's Mr. Body's butler and his wife and him were both working for free because they were like blackmailed.
The bit of him being like so somberly, she had friends who were socialists, and the whole room is just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I love that bit throughout this. I love it. It's like took until 1985 for us to laugh about fucking McCarthyism.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, the cook is.
Yeah, there's the part where like, who else is here? The cook, and then they all run across.
A lot
the
of
house.
running around the house.
I love the running around the
it's
house.
Fun. Dead in the freezer, knife in the back. So in my head, I'm immediately like, okay, so then the killer must be strong enough. Like it must be one of the guys, right? If they're gonna be lifting this like larger woman into the freezer by themselves, or multiple people working together. Why did they bother to put her in the freezer? I don't know, man. Just
Keep her nice and fresh. It's
also the knife, like that doesn't kill someone, right? That's like 2 inches in her back.
I mean, dude, I've never killed someone. You seem to have some experience. I also like the way that the body falls onto Mr. Green, and he immediately goes, "I didn't do it."
Yeah.
And then there's the joke about who'd kill the cook, and Scarlett says dinner wasn't that bad. Kind of funny, a little funny.
Yeah, I think at this point they start going over who had the motivations, and I think Mrs. White comes under suspect at some point.
She had 5 husbands.
This part was so funny, yeah, because they're like, you have 5 husbands, and she's like, yes, just the 5.
Men should be soft and disposable like Kleenex.
Yeah.
Those as flies. They say so. They're going back and forth about like a fly or something. Because I think they're implying she's like this Black Widow.
Right.
And then she says, flies are where men are most vulnerable. Like talking about their dicks.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's dead in the kitchen. They decide to move her body to the study. Because he wants to keep the kitchen tidy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he says it earlier too. The butler's responsibility is to keep the kitchen tidy. It's very consistent.
He's very consistent. Just ridiculous, but love it. Oh, this is the whole "there's no body" skit. Yeah. There's no body. What do you mean there's no body? Like I don't know how it goes down, but funny.
There's the part later on where the police officer, where the motorist comes.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's
no body in the. I can't remember how it goes.
No, there's nobody in the there's no body and he's like, what? There's a body? He's like, there's nobody in the lounge, but you can't go there. You have to go or whatever. Yeah. It was fucking funny.
It is.
And then we have Peacock going into well, before that, sorry, you're right. We don't see Mr. Body anymore, and they're like, wait, did Mr. Body kill the cook maybe? And then we have a bunch of like Three Stooges shit with the fucking like negatives where they're all like sort of like grabbing them. It's very funny.
Yeah, it really is some Three Stooges stuff throughout.
Very slapstick.
Yeah,
like you said.
Mrs. So I suspected Mrs. Peacock here because they just found out that the body's missing, and she's like, "I'm going to go powder my nose."
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's suspect as hell.
It was suspect, and then the body just falls on her.
Yeah.
It's so funny when they cut to her, like she screams when they cut to her, and the body's just like on her. There's so many people like, just like things falling on them, and them like acting like so incapable of like dealing with it.
Right. They're just in absolute hysteria.
Yeah, it's fucking funny.
It is.
And then we see that. There's the great part where Wadsworth is like, "Here, fall into my arms," and he has his arms like around.
Yeah, it just slips right through.
And she just falls right down onto the ground. The physical comedy in this is fucking
it is.
A+.
It is really, and like, I don't know if they're using stunt doubles, but if they're not, man, kudos to these actors because they're getting, especially Mr. McKean later, man. He's just on the ground constantly.
Oh, the way he fucking throws him down and picks him up. It's so good. But that's also, I mean, that's like a part of acting that like I feel like has become less and less But like I think like classic comedy like like vaudeville stuff that was like essential to like being able to do that. It's being able to like fall like without hurting yourself and like fall in like funny ways and Buster Keaton and shit.
Yeah, it's impressive. I'm assuming that's them. It looked like, I don't know, maybe it's stunt doubles though.
I mean, we could check. It should be in the cast and crew. But while I'm checking that, I can keep talking.
So
See, Green has blood on his hands.
that's what I was about to say. Mr. Green has blood on his hands. I wasn't sure how he got blood on his hands. Is that ever explained?
I think it's from touching the body.
Okay, I assume so.
But like, why do they make such a big deal out of it,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that threw me off. The candlestick knocks Wadsworth out. It's just like on the door frame, and he's like, "I'm not getting angry.
Yeah,
I'm not shouting.
I'm not shouting." And then he's like, "Okay, I'm shouting." And the fucking candlestick and again, the physical comedy of like his timing, just the way he falls, is so perfectly done. There is a whole entire stunts cast.
Makes sense.
Yeah. There are several different stunt people, and I guess they specifically only shout out one stunt double, who is Jean Malachny for Madeline Kahn.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, there was that part where I think it's Mrs. White who falls on the stairs, and I was like, "How?"
Yeah, I think Miss Peacock falls into the like cellar as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of falling, man.
It's fucking like this movie made me realize like, dude, it's so fucking funny when people fall.
It is. They lock the weapons away.
Yes. This is very smart. They prop the bodies up on the sofa. There's a lot of physical comedy about the cook, she's fat and very hard to like carry.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff, not my favorite, but
yeah, it feels a little punch downy,
Well, not even just that, just like the body the humor around the bodies of him, like falling onto the couch and being stuck between them. Like I like that doesn't really do much for me.
I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's like a nice little visual gag. What I like a lot as far as the like body stuff is when they're pretending to have the party later, when the fucking cop is like, these people aren't doing anything wrong. They're just having a good time.
Yeah.
And like they're like you got Mrs. Peacock doing the arms behind and he's holding the eyelids open to make
that's great. Yeah.
That's really fucking good. That's like peak fucking physical comedy.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Body comedy.
This is when the motorist arrives.
Well, they're gonna lock all the weapons in the cupboard, and then he's gonna throw the key out.
Right. Yeah. He's running outside to throw the key. And
I also love the thought process of like, I'm gonna keep the key because if I keep it, I'll be safe. And everyone's like, "What? What the fuck? Fuck you! Like, let me hold the key. Get rid of the key, right?" And then he's like, "I got it. Throw it out."
Yeah, and I knew there was gonna be fuckery with the key. I mean,
well, what I love is that then when they open the door at first, it's the motorist, and they're like all like, I love the whole like opening the door, turning around, like all talking, and then like, okay, you can come in, and then you see him lock the door.
Yeah, this is when it gets really out of hand. And
this is insane. Yeah,
this is when I start being like, what are
you doing?
Am I supposed to take this seriously, or is it all just super ridiculous? Because they just keep locking people up.
Yeah,
and it's like you're trying to why are you called the police for this very reason and then you locked them in a room.
So my immediate thought is when he's locking it and then he puts the key in the same pocket is like, dude, is he gonna throw the key to the lobby on accident?
Funny, right? I think they're just making fun of the hysteria, right?
Yeah,
just how absolute over the top batshit crazy these people are.
They are. Yeah, they're insane. Man. But then also in retrospect, he knows him, right?
Yes. Yeah, which one was he? How did he fit in again?
So the motorist was Colonel Mustard's driver.
Oh,
who informed on who gave him the blackmail.
Right.
And then the cop worked for
I think I'm realizing
Scarlet.
how brilliant the movie is right now, just because of how meta and ridiculous.
That's the thing I'm saying. That's what's so I was like, I have not committed to a tier ranking in my head yet, but I was watching it at the end and I was like, is there an argument for this to be much higher than it would seem? because it is like very thoughtfully done. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah, no,
Hey, we haven't said that in a while.
damn it. That's because we're just.
Well, we don't say we'll get to that when we
I
get
think
to
it's
that.
we just have the unspoken. We know we're gonna get to it when we
Yeah.
get to it, and we just transition instead of saying it.
What was
man.
the
We
thing that
lost
we
our
kept saying?
catchphrase.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll
yeah.
get to that.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss us.
I like. We'll get to. You miss.
What happened to us,
Yeah,
Alfredo?
yeah. Usually we see each other midweek. We didn't do that this week,
Wow.
and we won't next week either.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We're just longingly looking at each other, audience.
Just cut the tape. Just cut the tape.
All right. So they lock him up, then they throw the key.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, I love. He goes to the colonel goes to check on the study, and they're like, "Is everything fine?" And he's like, "Yep, 2 bodies. Everything's fine."
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And then he goes to pour the fucking the whiskey, and they do the close up of him pouring the whiskey, and he's literally just like he is doing it so nonchalantly.
This shot.
Just like
This shot didn't
spilling
get me.
everywhere.
This was like an airplane.
It was so good. I loved it so much. It made me laugh so fucking hard.
Just missing
Just like,
everywhere.
fucking, who cares? Like, there's part of it that's like, oh, this is just silly. But there's another part of it that's like, he's so fucking like, fuck this shit that he's just like, I don't care.
whatever.
As long as some liquid makes it in the cup.
Yeah. And then the colonel wants to split the party. And then that's what they do.
Yeah, this is the whole back and forth of like, can you tell me if there's anyone else in the house?
Right. Oh, I did like the chopping of the matches. I thought that was a very clever
Yeah, the drawing
setup.
lots, yes.
Yeah, because it just didn't have to explain anything. You immediately. Well, I think they still do explain it, but like, just a nice little clever thing.
Yeah, I did like the way that sort of like Peacock is like, well, if we split up, like one of us is gonna be with the killer, and fucking Mustard goes, "This is war, Peacock. Casualties are inevitable."
Yeah.
And he says, "Can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. Ask any cook." And then the fucking somebody goes, "Well, look what happened to the cook." There's dumb. It's so dumb, but
It is.
I'm like, do it. Throw it all at the wall. Go for it. Like, just fucking go for it.
Yeah, I wonder how much is improvised versus.
Yeah, I would be curious. I wonder.
Because it does have that energy, right? It feels like these are some comedic actors riffing.
Yeah, it feels feels so playful, you know? I think that's what's so charming about it. It's like, wow, murder's never been so fun.
It's very playful, yeah. I appreciate that about it too. And then this is probably the sequence that dragged the most for me. Them just kind of
There's a lot of
exploring
tension
the
building.
house. But like I'm not tense in this movie, so I don't need it,
You're not tense? You don't get even a little tense?
Like I like the vibe. I like the spooky house, but the amount of them just like looking up the staircase like, no, you go, and then like them,
I like Green and Yvette walking up the stairs together. That was really fucking
they get
funny.
like and then another 2 get like stuck getting out of the bar, like ladies
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
She says, "I think not," and then they both go at
Yeah.
the same time anyway.
Scarlet and Mustard. Yeah, that's fucking funny.
um,
And then we see like with Plum too. Like they do a lot of the ladies first thing, because like
Yeah.
Plum says it to fucking Peacock, and then she's like obviously scared, and then I can't really remember what happens, but then suddenly she's at the bottom. She like screams and she's at the bottom of the stairs.
yeah, I think
I think she like falls, or he like pushes her or something.
he slips and pushes her, and she like thinks she's getting attacked.
Wow, classic. Classic. Yeah, and then we do see the broken window. Like Scarlet reveals that.
Yeah.
I was like, does this mean anything?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, I had the exact same.
Nope. Meaningless.
Yeah,
And then
I guess that's where I was like starting to like be like confused on like, wait, so is this supposed to be like a mystery, or am I like just go with it and stop, like turn my brain off, or actually like engage with what's happening? And I couldn't find exactly where I needed to be.
I liked being like I liked being like both places. Like it was like Schrodinger's brain for a second, you know?
Interesting. If you look inside the box, you are watching a parody, and if you
Just use the box to process and don't look into the box, you know?
yeah.
So it's both insane and makes no sense, but also is like, wow.
Yeah, I feel like this movie takes a level of like just let it go, man. Just like go with the flow on this one.
It kind of does the thing, which is like, it's a fucking movie, dude. You know,
Yeah.
like it kind of says that very loudly in
Yeah.
a way where it's like, it's a fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a movie.
I guess I'm always conflicted when just when it's so over the top, like breaking the the fourth wall. This is a movie, but also here are a lot of plot threads to consider, and we are trying to like build, like you said, build tension, and like it's just this kind of juxtaposition of what I'm supposed to be engaging with, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's all ultimately done for laughs. It's all
Yeah.
it's like its ultimate goal is it wants you to have a good time and laugh. It doesn't like and it's doing that in the like wearing the costume of like a whodunit like murder mystery, and the convolutedness of it is really just commentary on the convoluted nature of some of these murder mystery plots.
Right. But like yeah.
Is it cogent? Like does it track? Like is there someone out there who's like followed everything and been like, "Oh yeah, actually this is a logical masterpiece." I don't know. I'm very curious. Like I kind of wish I had done a little bit of research like on the movie itself, but yeah, I mean maybe we'll do that. We'll talk about it in a follow-up episode.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, guys, spoilers for Clue. We should have said that up top.
Well, I think
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. We were talking about it. I wanted to acknowledge. Connor pointed out we were getting a little bit willy nilly with some of the stuff with Sinners. So from now on, we'll try and do a better job of letting you know when we will spoil something.
Yeah, especially for more recent movies, because yeah, we talk a lot about the movies we've covered already, and just naturally, since we've been talking about them for weeks, and I can imagine if you're just tuning into this one episode and suddenly we're spoiling something for something else, our bad.
Yeah, our bad.
The
Speaking of spoiling something,
the cop comes. What do you have
Yeah.
next? Yeah.
yeah, he's spoiling it. No, I'm just joking. Well, he's all part of it, dude. You know.
Yes, it's so funny, dude.
But yeah, we see him checking on the car.
Yeah, he's like looking through the window and stuff.
Well, the car is like completely
Yeah,
off. The wheels are
I was
off the
confused
road.
about
yeah.
that for a second. I was like, oh yeah, he crashed his car, I guess. But
He really fucked up his car.
yeah, he
dude.
really, it's raining hard, I don't know.
And also, he's supposed to be here. Like, he's really committing to the bit, like mounting his car up like that.
Yeah.
But then again, we can't trust everything cinema shows us, Connor.
I guess not.
Cinema Forecast believes fun is the enemy of the nitpick, and don't believe everything you see.
Yeah.
And tell your friends you love them. I
Yeah.
love you, Connor.
Love you too, man. And we love you, audience. Thanks for listening. All right. Man, we are really on one today, huh?
I'm having a great time right now.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, after the police is checking on the car, we see the blackmail materials are being like burned.
Yes.
The cupboard is unlocked.
Yes.
We see the fireplace sort of like spin, and then he fucking murks the dude in the lounge with the wrench.
Yeah, poor guy.
Poor guy,
He
dude.
just gets locked in there and killed. Except, yeah, I don't know. It's complicated.
And then he is saying over the phone, he's like, and all these people are having a party, and one of them
was
is my old boss.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely wrote that down. The trick door. This is when we see that the fireplace, opens up.
Fireplace spins, yeah.
Yeah, and this is when we start to see that there's trick doors just like everywhere, and which does make sense how people are getting around so quickly. And that was a fun part. I was too much to write down and too much to process, but I was like, oh, if you really were paying attention, you could notice who's missing in which scenes, which is what they do at the end, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I knew they were doing stuff with that. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know who's missing.
I remember not seeing Peacock at a very particular moment.
Right.
I think she's like so freaked out with the body, like when they go to the cook, like she's gone for a second. And then if you look in like IMDb, there's like the goofs section and shit like that, and they like talk about that shit as well.
Right. Oh, okay. This part's fucking hilarious. They follow I believe it's the maid and Mr. Green follow the or I can't remember who it. Maybe it's the colonel. They go through the fireplace and they find the body on the floor.
Scarlet and Mustard, yeah, they find the secret passage to the motorist.
Right. And what's
Through the
great,
conservatory.
and what's great is that the room is completely lit, and he has the flashlight, and he's looking
It's
around,
good. Yeah, it's
and
funny.
the body is just right in front of the camera, and then as soon as the flashlight lands on the body,
It was good. It was good framing for that. I like the composition of that.
that one
shot.
got me for sure. That was
It was a good shot too, like a really nice, cool looking shot.
Oh my god, dude, this scene also was super funny when they're trying to open the door because they're locked in there, and she grabs the gun. Yvette grabs the gun and she shoots the freaking lock.
And she also goes, "The door is open now." Or some shit like
Yeah, and the
that.
colonel's like, "Well, I've been shot."
Does not matter at all. Also, she shoots the chandelier, and he's freaking out, and the chandelier crashes
Great
down.
bit. The chandeliers
She
keep
drops the
crashing.
gun, and it slides down under the thing.
Dude, it's fun. I'm laughing harder at this stuff than I was when I first watched it. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's also like, would you have laughed harder if we'd watched it together?
Probably, yeah, probably.
It's just, it's such a good movie to like watch with people. Like, it just feels like really, like, I don't know, man. There's, despite it being such like the like subject matter kind of being really like dark, its tone is just so like, get the fucking family together, get a fucking big thing of popcorn, and just laugh your asses off. Just like be, you know, and just like.
Yeah.
Laugh.
Just
Be
have
a
good
vessel
time.
for comedy.
Have a good time. Yeah. Come on into our spooky mansion. And so the bell rings again. And is this the wait, who's at the door at this part? Is it Oh, it is the cop, yeah.
Yeah.
And he recognizes Yvette, it seems like.
Don't I know you? Like,
yeah.
Which makes sense because they both worked for Scarlet, you know?
Right. And then they lock him in the library.
I do love that when it rings, and they all do realize that the cupboard was unlocked, and they're like, "Oh shit, dude!"
Oh, right. Yep.
But
Yep.
there's also a bunch of other great physical comedy with like Green, Yvette, and Wadsworth and White all coming down the stairs and crashing into each other and falling down the stairs. But and then like who tries to ram the door open? Somebody tries to like shoulder the door open, I think.
Oh, I think Mr. Wadsworth tries to.
Yeah,
He's like,
just-
"Don't worry, I'll take care of it." And he just
Fucking-
immediately goes down.
And again,
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate the idea of opening a door with a gun
So fucking
and not
funny
and not
and
being
stupid. I love
like,
it.
get out of the way, you know.
He just starts shooting the lock.
But
dude.
when the door rings, Scarlet goes. They just like everyone stands still, and she goes, maybe they'll go away, you know, like. And then it rings again. Mr. Green's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna let them in. Because I didn't do it. I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And I kind of love this angle, too. He's like, you know, no, fuck it. And then, is this...
But I've lost all believability at this point because why are you locking the cop up? This
He doesn't do it, though.
I know, but they're all just complicitly doing it.
I know.
Like Mr. Green isn't just like, I'm gonna let's have him solve the murder.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just like, it's so strange. Well, I think what happens is like, he is like, I'm going to let him in because I didn't do anything. He opens the door, sees it's a cop, and closes the door immediately. So it's like, oh, he's losing his, like, he's like not feeling so brave anymore. Because it is the idea of like, oh yeah, I'm innocent. Like, it's going to be fine. But then like the realization of like, oh my God, this looks really fucking bad.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of it just the like funniest choice, right? Not so much like the most like coherent or cogent, but
Right.
like just what's gonna be the funniest. And then yeah, but then they all say to him, I think even Mr. Green says like, why did you fucking lock him in the library?
Yeah.
And he does go to like use the phone, and then the phone rings.
Yeah.
And he's like, who is it?
It's J. Edgar Hoover.
It's so fucking. But yeah, why is he locking him? Why are you locking people? Well, his thought process is right. This way, they won't wander off. And it's like, why don't you just like watch him while he's like, no, we got to go look for clues, which is what they end up like. What they end up doing at one point, I think. But yeah.
This is the part where they show him around, and they're all hooking up with the dead
what
bodies.
happens is like they scream he like screams. He's like the phone is rung and he answered it and he goes, I'm gonna have you guys arrested for like false imprisonment, whatever. And he goes, I'll have you arrested for murder. And then they open the door and they're like, murder? And he's like, I was just saying that so you'd let me out. And he's like, hey, J. Edgar Hoover's on the phone, right? Like, and then he says to him, he say, why is J. Edgar Hoover on your phone? He goes, he's on so many people's phones. Why shouldn't he be on mine? Like a joke about tapping, like phone tapping, you know?
But like in an offended way.
Yeah. He's like, why wouldn't he call me? And I love the way the cop does the like, he's like, oh no, you don't want to go in there or whatever. And the cop goes, there's nothing wrong going on here. These people are just having a good time. And it's like kind of like, it's funny. He's like, I mean, like I get it, but it's like, they're like all like making, he was just talking to all these people and now they're all randomly making out in these rooms.
Yeah, it's so strange. I do love the track they put on Life Could Be Dream. I forget the artist's name, but awesome oldie.
I do also, I like the motorist with the hat. And he's just like, oh man, he reeks of booze. He's not driving, right? He's like, no. And he says he's dead drunk, you know?
There's a lot of that.
But so the funny part about that is like, oh, he's not going to drive it. No, don't worry. We'll take care of him. Like, oh, you're going to get him a car. Yeah, we're going to get him a long black car.
Yeah.
Like,
a limousine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't do much for me, but I recognized it.
I just thought it was like, there's so much going on.
There is.
That's not like the funniest part for sure, but it's like so much going on.
There's a lot. I mean, it's packed full of just constant attempts. Like you said, they're just throwing everything they got, you know.
I love also Mrs. White moving his arm like while she's like pretending to make out with him to like be on and also it was fitting that it was her with the dead guy, right? Because she's got all the dead husbands.
Yeah, good call. Very symbolic. It's deep. Deep shit.
This movie's so deep. So deep.
I love this bit though where Wadsworth comes up on the cop and he's like, "Oh no, everything's fine here." And he's like, "Oh yeah, J. Edgar Hoover was cool with it. It's a free," and he's like, "He was cool with it." He's like, "Yeah, it's a free country, man." Or
I don't think he says J. Edgar Hoover.
Oh, he's just like, "No, everything here is like
everything's copacetic. Everything's fine."
Yeah. And he's like, I didn't know it was that free of a country. Yeah, because he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a good bit, but it's also funny that he's just like assumed that like, oh yeah, we just showed him around, showed him the bodies and everything, and he's like, oh yeah, cool. Again, it's just the funniest choice for the interaction. I'm just like, oh, like the misunderstandings are that part is really fucking funny. I like it a lot because you can also see Green behind him just like nodding.
And then they lock him up again. Is that what happens?
Yeah, because he still needs to make a call, right? So.
He's like, okay, can I make that call now? Yeah. And then he just locks him back in.
Yeah, and so he locks him in again. And I think maybe there's a part where he's like, why'd you lock him in again or something? Yeah. But I don't know. But then they go and continue to search that, which is very funny. They're like, okay, let's just leave the cop in the fucking library on the phone. And they search the house, and then the power gets cut. Yeah. And I like this sort of shot of the gloved hand because it works well with the like alternate narratives like later on, right?
Yeah, we get the reveal here that Yvette was faking her accent.
Yeah, she drops the accent, talks about how people recognize her.
The shot of her just like getting the noose thrown around her neck and pulled out, it's so weird.
Insane. It's also so funny the way that she's like, she seems like she knows who she's talking to because she's like revealing something, and then like she's like, who are you? And it's like, what the fuck? You don't know who this is?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just funny, like the way that she approaches and she's like, oh, she's obviously in cahoots with someone, and it's like immediately like, nope, she gets fucking murked.
It was you.
Yeah. It is a great, again, it's like a parody of one of those scenes, right?
Yeah, well, and then I really love this where the cop answers the phone, but the power lines are out, and he gets a big reveal, and that's when he gets hit with the pipe.
Yeah. I like the way that the person puts the pipe on the phone and then smacks him over the head.
Yeah, it seems to really be making like a commentary on how a lot of these movies just like don't make sense, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Because they're fun.
Yeah, because it's fun.
Yeah, it is. That's very much what I feel like this movie's about. I mean, dude, okay, another part I really thought was so fucking funny is Wadsworth thinks he's opening a door, and it's the shower turning on. That was fucking hilarious.
Yep.
And then he just gets wet.
Yeah.
The next part is the singing telegram. The door opens and she's singing.
Yeah, that was a good bit.
And she gets fucking shot. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, because you have no idea that this character's part of it. Yeah, it just felt like, here's someone who's kind of annoying. Boom, dead.
Fucking funny. I loved it.
The lights go back on.
They find Yvette dead on the pool table.
Yep.
And when they see her, they just turn around and walk away.
Yes, that got me too. Just
turn around.
They're just like, yep. Seems about right.
P for the friggin' C, my guy. And then, they find the dead cop and the singing telegram, and that's when they say there's 6 total murders.
Yep.
It's funny to think that like half of the people in this movie die.
Right. I mean, that's some classic.
It was really good.
Trapped in the house with the killer stuff. Yeah. And I love how when they say 6 murders altogether, and then someone says, "This is getting serious."
I love later on with the gun with Scarlett when he's like 2 + 1 + 2 + 1.
Really, I was just like, wait, what?
And I think we're both like we're people who don't shy away from like mental math and like math at all, right? Like we're definitely like people who like numbers. So like for that scene to make me be like, I don't want to try to follow this. I'm like, I like whatever.
Same. I was the exact same.
This is really fucking funny though. I gotta say, dude, the singing telegram, the door opens. It's dark. She doesn't even see anyone. She just starts saying, bang.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I think this is probably the episode we've recorded where we've laughed the most.
It's true.
This is also the most. This is the first like straight like this is the first comedy we've done. Really.
Yeah.
Murder on the Orient Express is funny, but it's.
I mean, you could argue like Finding Nemo's kind of a comedy, right? I don't know.
No,
comedy...
that is like a important cultural piece of
touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it is, but it's a kids movie. Kids movies are different. It's more of like an adventure movie, right? This is a comedy to the point where like, you know, I think there's a level of comedy, like you're never going to get the level of comedy of this in a kids movie because you can't be inappropriate to this level, right?
Yeah, for sure. Except kids movies love to sneak them in there.
They do. They love sneaking them in there.
There's a lot of them.
Speaking of sneaking them in there.
Yeah, Mr. Body. Wait. Oh, no. Okay.
This is where we get that Wadsworth knows who did it.
This and of course I was waiting for this, right? This was my favorite part of Murder on the Orient Express. I love just the we're gonna explain everything. Sit back.
I think a super important aspect of a whodunit is this. This has to be the best part. Yeah. It has to be the best part. If it's not the best part, then you have to
rework the entire movie.
Well, the other parts just have to be that if the reveal is it should almost be the part of the thing the movie does is that.
What do they call it in the magic trick? This is the prestige?
This is the prestige, yes. Yeah. So I think the prestige needs to be the fucking high point. And if it's not, it should almost be a commentary on that, right? But yeah. And I feel like I don't usually call for flashbacks, but if you're going to employ flashbacks, or recontextualize shots, you know, like where you shoot the same thing again, but from a different angle or
which was really cool in Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
I especially noticed that.
Yeah, I love that comment that you had for the way that they said when they said the specific thing, it was a different angle. This is the kind of movie, and this is the point to use them, right?
Yeah.
But again, what they do is there are flashbacks, but it all starts with a full-on reenactment, which feels like this is the genius of this is the best part, and it's making fun of all these parts in all these other movies because it's I figured it out, and now I'm gonna
and the physical acting of Tim Curry especially, my lord, what a performance!
Well, they've
give this man all the awards.
They've already set up, you know, he's very verbose person, and you know he says earlier, long story short. Too late. I love that. That's a great bit. And then so he says that while he's doing it, they all go, too late. And you're like, oh, that's good. I love it when they do a joke and then everybody does it. But yeah, just watch the scene.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
It's so good. Yeah, just such a fun way to recap everything you just experienced. And it's just you don't really, it's just so unique.
He's also giving you a subjective version of the movie, right? He says, and there was Mrs. White standing there all pale and tragic. It's really funny. It's really well done, dude.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And then I love him turning the lights up. The light comes back on.
He's on the floor, yeah.
It's amazing. You know, he said, Tim Curry said this is one of his favorite movies he's done.
I can
mean,
imagine. I can just
come on.
imagine the fun of it. I was like, damn. And what was impressive too is he was running around so much, and he wasn't sounding like he was short on breath, and it didn't seem like they were cutting. It seemed like he was like physically prepped.
He was
to
so
do this.
excited.
Yeah.
Like there was like he was embodying the excitement of his character. And I think like what's also fun is the music here. You notice it's like very like tame while he's talking, and then as they run it goes dun 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 dun,
Yes.
does like little
Yeah.
stings.
The score really stood out to me.
Really
in this
well
section,
timed
yeah.
right here. Yeah, and we get basically a lot of like these sort of well, he like runs around and isn't really telling us anything new yet. He's just like recounting all the, which is
Yeah.
also funny because it's like oh, it's the big reveal, and then it's like a fucking
More of a recap of
like
every little detail.
how long is it? Like 5 minutes, 7 minutes?
Yeah. I think is it the first like big piece of information that the cook and the maid were accomplices.
The cook and Yvette were Mr. Body's accomplices.
Right.
The cook, and he mentions the cook had worked for one of them, but doesn't yet reveal it was Mrs. Peacock.
and he keeps throwing Mr. Green on the ground.
It's so good.
It's really
It
funny.
reminded me of like stunt like when I used to do kung fu, I did it with my buddy Nico, and we did these like sparring sets. We actually for like Derby days in Redmond, we did like a broadsword spear set, and I was on the spear, he was on the broadsword, and we did these ones that were just hand to hand. It reminds me of running those things because like you'll do things where you'll like throw each other, and like you have to like part of it is learning how to fall and shit like that, and it felt so like I was just looking at it like fight choreography or just like general choreography, you know, and I'm just like, this is so good.
Yeah.
Because he like
It's great.
throws him down and then he like picks him up
and he just
stands
rises
him-
perfectly. With
Yeah,
it.
and that's both of them like
Yeah.
just like
I mean,
executing that
Mich-
super well.
Yeah, both of them are just killing it. I mean, everyone who's doing all this physical comedy stuff,
So
just
fucking
so
good.
impressive.
So fucking good, though.
And I love at one point he's like, "Will you stop that?" And he's just like, "No."
No, no. And then he does the thing where he falls as the body out of the fridge as well.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good. So we do also get the reveal that Yvette was one of Scarlett's girls.
Yep.
The negatives are of Yvette and Mustard.
Yep.
Then this is where he says the thing about how the negatives would have killed his dear old mom.
Yep.
Then we have that Mustard is working on the next fusion bomb.
Yep.
We already heard that Mrs. White's husband was a nuclear physicist.
Yep.
Wadsworth then says that he invited the motorist because he knew that he was Mustard's driver. We get that whole thing about the stolen Air Force radios.
And this again is where, like, if I think about it too hard, I just start getting confused. Like,
Yeah.
what is Wadsworth's motivation here? Why?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what's going on, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
And then the cop was from Washington on Scarlett's payroll. The singing telegram girl, and I knew this. I was actually like, is that Plum's patient? Like, maybe there was residue in my mind, but I
Yeah.
haven't watched this movie in over 10 years.
Right.
But yeah, so she is the woman that he had an affair with, and then we get the doorbell ringing again.
Yeah.
Well, no, then he says, and then the doorbell rang, and then bing bong.
Yeah, which is great. Oh, and just like something I noticed just talking about it right now, the whole Wadsworth kind of manhandling Mr. Green is kind of a setup for their final rivalry in the last scene, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like now he has a bone, now it's personal, right?
And I love that. I think Miss Peacock says, whoever it is, they need to leave or they'll be killed.
Yeah.
It's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's a like a Christian doomsdayer at appearance.
Yeah, no, it felt like it was like some sort of like Jehovah's Witness or something
Right,
like
but
that.
that's just Mormon, right? Like because that's what I was gonna write down. I'm like, oh, wait, no, I guess I don't know what the word for a doomsdayer, right?
What?
Isn't a Jehovah's Witness like specifically Mormon?
No, they're different. Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons are just they're called evangelical Christians because they want to convert other people.
Right.
So that's a part of evangelism, is that you want to spread the gospel and you want to convert people. And really well known for doing this door to door are Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses.
So anyone who does this door to door, and if it's Christianity, would be a Jehovah Witness?
No. Jehovah's Witness is a specific
Evangelical
Christian thing. They don't dance and they don't sing unless it's in the worship of God. They don't celebrate their like birthdays, stuff like that. It's different from Mormonism. It is another form of sort of evangelical Christianity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you learn something every day.
I think are Seventh-day Adventists also evangelical? I'm not sure, but so I think the thing is that it's always been Jehovah's Witnesses has been the like meme, right, of the people who go to door, but where we live in Washington State, it tends to be Mormon people who do this.
Okay. Yeah, that must be why I was confused.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it's all part of like the same sort of idea of like sending missionaries like to other countries and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, let me ask you. Do you have a second to talk about film?
I think I could spare a second.
Do you have a second to talk about film?
Are we doing an ad break or something?
That would be a fucking. That's a good cold open. Cut this out and we'll use it for something else. Yeah, it's so we have this sort of he appears very briefly. They like talk to him and then they like sort of turn him away, right?
Yeah.
And this is where Wadsworth says that Yvette killed the cook, then she killed Body with a candlestick and hit him in the toilet.
Yeah.
He says Scarlett is the mastermind and the murderer.
Yep.
And so then, I love this bit of like whoever has the gun on them is the person who did it.
That's a great like deductive reasoning stuff I love in these kind of stories where it's like, okay, well we've narrowed it down to this one identifiable like trait or factor is going to be the linchpin in everything.
And I think that it's like I think that it's well done in this movie because it's so simple and actually does track. It makes sense, right? And there's so much gray area around it that I love that it could be so many of them who have the gun. Yeah. So it is. I think it's something that is very efficient and being like, all right, like this is a really cool visual tool. And of course, you get the fun thing where they pull out the gun and point it at everybody else because they're the one who did it, right? Like something fun about that. I love it. Yeah. And this is where we get the like.
No
communism was the red herring.
Yeah, and just keeps coming back up. So funny.
No, communism was the red herring all along. It's fucking good. It's really good. Funny. And I love how it's like, okay, so you're talking about how it's like convoluted and hard to track, right? They keep saying this thing. There's like, well, there's this one thing I still don't understand. One thing? And then like even there's a part where Mrs. White says in one of the endings, so this had nothing to do with Colonel Mustard's work on the new next fusion bomb or my nuclear physicist husband or and you're like, it's just like so self-aware, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's really clever stuff for sure.
Yeah. So this is the first ending. We have Scarlett, and then we get the whole argument about the bullets. The doorbell rings and like it's all the cops, right? And you know he was working for J. Edgar Hoover. He works for the FBI.
The music every time the cops come in, really just so funny.
It feels like the cavalry's here, boys.
Yeah, that got me every time.
And the way they storm in the same way every time is really fucking good.
It's really good.
Then we get the first alternate ending.
Oh, and just the Gone with the Wind reference here where Scarlett's like, you can't do this to me. Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Fucking silly little throwaway reference.
Yeah. Oh, and so I thought it was the end of the movie at first where the chandelier drops and it just freeze frames there, and that really got me. And then every time the freeze frame happened after that also really got me. It just really good bit.
Funny.
Yeah.
We in the alternate ending, the first one, it's the first time we get the mention that the cook used to be Peacock's cook.
Right.
It was her favorite dish, monkey brains. And then he has the really funny fucking quote that he repeats. And I love this. I love like repetition is so like repetition when well executed is so fucking funny to me.
Yeah, the rule of threes, right? Yeah, I mean, I used to watch a lot of comedy specials, and I noticed a lot of the best comedy specials would be early on in the bit, maybe like the end of like the first act of their bit or whatever. They would have a big like punchline, right? And then the final act of their bit, they bring that punchline back, but in the new context that fits into the joke they're just telling, and it's like so much funnier.
Yeah, yeah. For sure. What he says something about like, well, monkey brains like popular in Cantonese cuisine like aren't often seen in Washington D.C. And I just love the different reads too when you get that too, like the different tones to it.
Yeah, and
the conversation did that to good effect in like a dramatic way.
Yep, totally. They sing her for "She's a Jolly Good Fellow," which is funny and awkward and weird as she backs out.
Oh yeah, because they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, yeah, I'm cool with it. Like, yeah, he also is like, whatever. It's like a little bit of like a fucking Murder on the Orient Express. He's like, no, you got rid of like some shitty people. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I never. And I love the repeated thing of like, they're like, well, aren't the police coming? He's like, why would the police be coming? And they're like, oh my god, dude, what the fuck? Like, right, of course, because you said you called the cops.
Right. And this is where he reveals that he works for Hoover. And then all the police come in again.
Yeah, is it where he makes the joke about cleaning up and the man named Hoover?
Yep.
Like the vacuum, yeah.
And then we get the what really happened.
There's a would anyone care for fruit or dessert as well?
Yep. And so then we get that
everyone sort of
did it.
participate. Yeah.
Peacock
Plum
killed the cook.
Yeah, Plum killed Body.
The Colonel killed the stranger. Mrs. White killed the maid. Oh my gosh, dude. The performance here from Mrs. White where she's like, yeah, I just saw rage, flames. There were flames on. And
that was ad-libbed.
She just keeps going. It's so funny.
Flames everywhere. It's so
on the
weird.
Side of my head.
It's so weird and unsettling, and the way she pauses.
It makes just like okay.
It makes sense. It's ad-libbed, and it's fucking funny, dude.
The butler shot the telegram.
Wait, it's the most emotion.
Yeah,
she shows
it's
too.
like the most like emotional moment in the movie, maybe the most like rounded moment in some ways.
Yeah, we have Scarlett killed the cop, Wadsworth killed the singing telegram. But still so fucking funny, dude. I can't get over it. And then that's when he says he's Mr. Body.
Yep, which is a great reveal.
And then he's like, and Plum is like, then who did I kill? And he's like, you killed my butler.
And, it's for a parody of this type of story, the butler being the one who did it, but he's also the one who did it in the final version of it, and he orchestrated everything, and the butler was actually the person you thought was just butler whodunit stuff.
Funny stuff. And then he tells him to stack the bodies in the cellar, and he's just gonna keep blackmailing them. And then Green has his hero moment where he shoots Wadsworth, and he goes, I told you I didn't do it. And there's this joke about where he says, I'm a plant, and they're like, they call your type a fruit.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I bet that killed in 85.
Yeah. I mean, good wordplay. Mr. Green is FBI.
He also says, but if you want to know who shot Mr. Body, it was me in the hall with the revolver.
Yes,
he does a clue line. It's
perfect. So good. And again, the third time the cops come in, I was expecting it. I knew it, but it still hit me. It's really funny. And then
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Yep, and then freeze screen again.
Fucking
great bit.
Hilarious.
Really
shit,
great
dude.
bit.
Very funny.
Lots of funny bits.
Very silly fucking movie.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. Okay, are you ready for a little bit of trivia?
Yeah, lay it on me.
All right. So, there were 3 endings that were shot, and a different one was shown at each theater.
Love that.
All 3 are included on video. The DVD, however, aside from all 3 endings, also offers the option to play the movie with one randomly selected ending.
Oh, fun.
In some cities,
I do like
the
that.
newspaper print ads indicated which version, ending A, B, or C, was being shown at the theater. So it's interesting that this movie...
So you could go see it 3 times.
Has a different runtime.
Smart.
Yeah, has a different runtime on video versus the one we watched is longer than the actual screening of it was.
And it's just a 90-minute movie, right?
It's like 97.
Yeah, pretty short movie. So
yeah,
really short movie if you just get the one ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe hour 30.
I mean, it's more than 5 minutes on each one, I think, right?
Well, I don't know.
I'd say it's the last 20 to 25 minutes of the movie. No?
Well, we can check. We'll do the math later. And then I told you the flames on the side of my face monologue. Yeah, that was ad-libbed.
Love it.
Then apparently they would play pool between takes.
I can
and
see it.
on the billiard set. But apparently, Leslie Ann Warren, who plays Scarlett, couldn't play with them because she was wearing like a really tight corset under her fucking dress,
Oh, yeah.
and she was just like go and like lay down and chill.
Oh, that's 6.
Yeah.
Rough.
And apparently Carrie Fisher was originally cast
Oh, really?
as Miss Scarlet,
Oh, fun.
but then she had to go to rehab.
Oh, shit. That
Yeah.
sucks. Because, yeah, I don't know if I've seen her in anything besides Star Wars.
Yeah, I mostly know her for. I mean, I think I saw maybe I don't know. Yeah. Also, apparently at one point Professor Plum says they only have 15 minutes until the police arrive. Exactly 15 minutes later, the evangelist rings the doorbell. Wow.
Love it.
Told you the thing
Smart.
about the fourth ending, right?
Yeah. Oh, and really quick, just on
Yeah.
that note, one thing I really, really like about this movie is that so often in stories, it'll be like, they'll be here in 5 hours, or they'll be here in an hour, but like 5 hours pass, or it feels like 5 hours pass. In this movie, they're constantly counting down the actual runtime of the movie to the climax. Like, it's real time, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't see that very often. Like, I can't think of another story where it's like, this is going to happen in 10 minutes, and it's like 10 minutes in the movie.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, now we're cutting between
The
scenes.
movie feels very real time. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like it doesn't, I don't think all of that happened in an hour and a half, but they make it feel like it did.
Yeah.
So, okay, there's more about this fourth ending.
Okay.
This is a long one. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the audience is just on the edge of their seat.
This is a shorter ep anyway. Okay. So, when Mr. Body pretends to be dead after the revolver is fired in the dark, and the 6 guests try to figure out how he died without being shot, Wadsworth is missing during the entire sequence in the study up until he joins the guests in checking on a screaming Yvette in the billiards room. This is because of the fourth ending, where what is supposed to happen is that Wadsworth accuses Plum of killing Mr. Body and Mrs. Peacock of killing the cook, but Plum deduces that Wadsworth knows who murdered Mr. Body and his 5 informants because Wadsworth murdered everyone himself. And then he reveals that he poisoned the champagne, and everyone's gonna die unless they find a what's it called?
Antidote.
An antidote. And then the chief shows up, and I guess they take Wadsworth down, and I guess they oh yeah, and this is what I'm saying. He runs away and then gets mauled by the dog, and
right.
then the car crashes. And apparently they thought it was too dark.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, because it does feel like it has adult humor, but it does feel like it's trying to be more family friendly. You know, like this is like a kids movie for the 80s. You know.
Yeah.
Where it can be kind of raunchy.
Yeah, for sure. The two last things are, there's a whole bunch of other ones you can check out in the trivia section of IMDb. Shout out IMDb. But I love Wadsworth identity is different in each of the 3 endings. That's fun.
Yeah.
And then at the point where they find the body, he basically voices the whole object of the game. Because he yells, "That's what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out who killed him and where and with what." Pretty good.
Oh, that is good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really
All
fun.
that being said, very fun fucking movie.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
So I think I'm gonna go with C. I liked it. It was entertaining. I while we were talking about it, I was reflecting on it and should I bump it up to a B because of some more of this meta stuff with it? But overall, I just had a fun time with it. It didn't do much more for me than that,
Word, for sure. I'm gonna give it an A. I think it's a really, really, really good parody. It's a great parody of a genre I like a lot, and I think is very very susceptible to this. And yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting about it as well is this is a genre that often sort of pokes fun at itself a little bit, where they're, like I said, a lot of these tend to be kind of comedic, but this one really goes for it in that sense. I love Tim Curry's performance. Yeah. I think that comedic acting is hard. Yeah. And I think everyone really delivers overall in this
agree,
film.
Yeah.
So I think for that, I feel an A is fair.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think especially growing up with it too, you know, like I feel like you have a stronger connection with it. Um and like we were talking about, yeah, all the more meta like kind of there's a lot of kind of clever structural stuff in this movie that I appreciate a lot.
Yeah, I think also in my head, being the way that I am, there's like this thing where I'm like, oh yeah, like serious dramatic movies are always going to get like a bonus, right? When you're rating them, like comedies are looked at, like kind of down upon, and I think because of that, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna dare to say it's A, right? Like,
Yeah. No, and I was thinking about that too. I'm like, um, yeah, comedy really has to do a lot for me, I think. Like, I guess Life Aquatic is kind of comedic, right? But that's also just, like, so freaking artsy that it doesn't feel like a comedy. Like, it's a lot more drama than just comedy. It's more
I
like a
mean,
drama with comedy.
Wes Anderson's whole thing is the like. I mean, this is what's happened to comedy is that it's all like dramedies now, right?
Yeah.
Where it's all like, let's lighten the dramatic load with. But that movie, of his movies, goes a little bit more comedic because of like the action parts of it that feel a little bit like.
It's very funny.
What did we give? What did you give Life Aquatic?
In A. I think we both gave it an A.
Yeah, for sure. Life Aquatic gets an A. This gets an A for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, next week, Alfredo, we're going to watch a monster movie classic.
We're going to watch The Ting.
Yeah, one of my favorites as far as horror movies go. Yeah, The Thing. John Carpenter. Legendary movie.
Yeah. Very excited.
And not in the remake, right? 1980.
It has a different name.
Something. Oh, the first one has a different name? Okay.
Yeah, the first one is called The Thing from Outer Space or something like that.
That sounds right, yeah.
Or The Thing from Hell. I don't know. Some shit like that. But yeah, they have different names.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah.
You said you're not sure if you've seen it?
No, I don't really know if I have.
You've probably like seen bits of it?
Yeah, I definitely have. I know I've seen the ending for sure.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Great movie. Excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then we'll be picking our next category after that
Next
too.
category after that.
Yeah.
We're going to be figuring out what July is going to be about.
Looking forward to it. Not many categories left.
Looking forward to it for sure. Yeah, not many categories left.
4, I believe.
We got Movies in Motion. We got Trapped, Aliens, and Out of Order.
Yep. Very good.
Sick. Well, thank you all so very much. As always, please like, subscribe, drop a comment, leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, and I will read them out here when you do. I actually did check again. We don't have a new one. Thanks again to our guy Levi for that one last week. You're a real fucking gem. Find us on social media. We are Cinema Forecast. That is FOURCAST. Because we do 4 movies every month.
Yeah, we do.
Except for last month we did 5, but that was a bonus episode. All right, well, thank you all so very much for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Remember, tell your friends that you love them.
Yeah, please. And we'll see you in the forecast.
Cast. You remember when they fucking shot the singing telegram girl? That's the new intro. Everybody, Cinema Forecast listeners, welcome. Jacob just texted the group chat. He is chaperone pilled now. Put this at the end as a bumper. Okay, thank you. All right.